know it, man. You know it.
Yep.
So, I would say we're live.
Yes,
So,
we're live.
yeah, I guess we're live. So, welcome everybody to Xylonite Nights. Sounds pretty weird. It's a chemical. It's used for vegan foods. So, you better snuggle up and prepare your pants. We're gonna do some delicious vegan recipes. No, of course not. Silent Nights is the newest movie podcast coming to you from the interwebs, featuring myself, the German, Tim K. You know me from Tim K's Nerd Crate, and maybe from a few hangouts from the realm of collectors, and my good friend, the Tron Viper, David McCloud. How you doing?
What's up, buddy? How's it going?
Pretty good, pretty good. First shenanigans out of the way with the stream
Right.
and everything with YouTube on air, so yeah. We see how this goes, and yeah, I know the movie. Not the movie. I know the title is a little bit weird, people. I know that, but we just wanted to do a little bit something special of a title. Not everything like I don't know. There's like cinema craze or movie craze. There's stuff like that out there. So I tried to dig a little deeper into the history of movies and celluloid, the actual material where the film was originally banned on, was also known in the, I believe, early 1900s as Xylonite, one of the titles. I didn't know that, so I like that. So we took that one, and today really is just, yeah, a test. Our first episode, episode 000. So we just hang back, we just kick back, we just enjoy, have a good
Yeah.
time, give you a little bit of movie news, talk about the topic we want to talk about, like the title a little bit implies today, the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Yay.
Yay! We're pretty much in the vicinity of the countdown to Avengers Endgame. The new Spider-Man trailer just dropped, I believe, 2 weeks ago. Was it?
Yeah,
Um,
it was 2 weeks ago. Yep.
yeah, people were yeah, that's a teaser, not much to see. Mysterio, yeah, that's fine, but Hydro Man, everybody went a little crazy. So I don't know. But Captain Marvel's pretty much around the corner in March, and end of April, it's the end game. I don't know,
That's
man.
right.
What's your thoughts on that?
As far as the Spider-Man trailer went, I was pretty excited just because I'm a big Spider-Man mark. Like he's my favorite superhero of all fucking time. So, um, anytime there's new Spider-Man shit, I get excited. um, let's see, Captain Marvel. I mean, I don't know. It's probably going to be pretty good. I'm sure it will be, but I'm not like uber excited for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Avengers now, that's a different story. Of course, I'm ready for that one.
you know it.
Yep.
Yeah, you know it. That's my call too. Like I don't know, Infinity War was just fucking crazy. So
Yeah.
I can't really say anything negative about it. Like what's bad, what's good, or I don't know. I think this is fucking amazing, and I don't know. I think it will be shocking again. Like pretty much like the end of Infinity War. I don't know. It was you were sitting in the cinema, and all of a sudden everybody starts vanishing, and you were like, "Holy fuck, man! There go 10 years of cinema history just into thin air." Like I remember as it was yesterday, the cinema was just silent. There was nothing happening. Everybody was silent. It was just watching with that eerie ambient soundtrack, and all the characters start vanishing, and you were just I don't know, man, flabbergasted. Let's call it like that. I don't know. It was really crazy.
Right. Yeah. Same feeling here. Like, you could definitely, like you said, it was quiet. You know, silent. You could hear a pin drop.
Yeah,
You know what I mean, so to speak. It was something, man.
it
Like you
was.
said, 10 years of of us watching these characters on the screen.
Yeah,
And it just was like, you know, Nothing.
Especially a few seconds ago, there was just all-out war. Like the Outriders were hammering away at everybody. Thor was cleaning house, and then Thanos arrives and just say, "Be gone left, be gone right, Hulkbuster to the wall," and I don't know, everybody's going
Right.
everywhere, and I don't know. I think how he finished Vision, that was just merciless. That was also an intense scene, and when I think about how furious he already was, like at Spider-Man, when he kicked at him through those, I don't know, it's called dimensional windows from Strange, and he called it like insect and punched him through the ground. I don't know, how furious will Thanos be when everybody, if those theories are true, when they all emerge, maybe from the quantum realm, and nobody's really dead, but I don't know, like maybe the Infinity Gauntlet has a little life of its own and said, yeah, everybody's vanished, but they're not dead. We just pulled a little bit on you, we put them to the side. So you
Yeah.
can't really see them anymore, but they're gone for you. All right. So you don't have to I don't know, deal with them anymore. Yeah, let's call it like that. So,
Right.
so I don't know. I think this will be pretty crazy, but we will go into it a little bit deeper in a few minutes. But for now, what did you watch last, man? Since we're on the movie podcast.
All right. Sounds good. Let's see. I watched. I've kind of been on an Arnold kick, so I know you're like me, a big '80s guy,
Yeah.
'80s movie guy. I mean, come on, Arnold Schwarzenegger's that dude. So, I watched.
He's the Austrian face of the '80s.
Yes, for sure. Big part of my childhood.
Me too. Mine too.
Kind of grew up. My dad got me growing up watching all the '80s action movies and the '80s science fiction movies and stuff. So, real big into that. But anyways, I watched Total Recall and The Running Man. That was the most recent movies I watched.
Nice and classic. Paul Verhoeven.
Oh, dude, yeah.
I love Total Recall. Also the score by Basil Polidoris is just too good. Like I don't know, people call it cheesy sometimes, and also bullshit about the contents of the book that made it into the movie were like really scarce. I mean, it is by Philip K. Dick. It's we can make it for you wholesale. I never read it. Same as Do Android Dream of Electric Sheep. I need to kind of do that. I think those two books and also Metropolis are kind of like the basis for everything New Age sci-fi. So I think that would still be something, but I have a hard time reading books. I don't know. I'm not stupid. I can read and everything. It's okay, but I just don't enjoy books. I don't know why. It's
Right.
Some people call, I don't know, podcasts wasting time, or I don't know, comics. But for me, it's like books. I don't know. I need an audio, visual component. I don't know. But did you watch the remake of Total Recall 2?
No, actually, I've never seen that. The one with Colin Farrell, right? From like, what was that, like 2013, 14, something like that? Was it? Give or take. No, I actually didn't see that, but I read online that some of it was more accurate to the novel than the Arnold one.
Yeah, like the ending, somewhere like the ending, like it was a little bit more clear if it was a dream or not, and the original with Arnold took the liberty to have it a little bit more open, like ambiguous. Right. Okay, is it now a dream, or is it like this? Is it the reality?
Right.
You never knew with this.
I like to think that's one of the charms, I think, of the Arnold one is you don't know. He kind of left it up to you to interpret however you want.
Right. So that's what
I get. Like Verhoeven, I mean, he kind of left it like kind of open, like I don't know. I was reading something the other day after I watched the movie. I looked some stuff up about it, and I was reading, and it said that if it truly was a dream, if Hauser excuse me, if Quaid actually went to, see, I'm confusing myself already. If Quaid actually went to recall, then anything past the point of him going to recall from outside of his point of view, like the stuff with Richter and Cohagen, like talking, we saw it as viewers, but Quaid shouldn't have nothing to do with that because that's not part of his ego trip. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's it.
So that was like a theory that I read that's kind of interesting. It was like if it really was a dream, he wouldn't have any knowledge of those conversations where he wasn't in the room, so to speak. You know.
I know what you mean. That's also what I read. Like essentially post recall or post the point when he sits down and gets like the injection and everything and starts running amok. That's pretty much the point where everything afterwards is like the dream or the injected induced dream kind of thing.
Yeah.
So there were supposed to be some subtle hints inside the movie, and I knew them before, but I forgot them now. So I would have needed to look that up, but
all right.
Either way, I like the subtle hints, like left and right, like also the doctor. I don't know the name anymore. That's telling him you're still sitting at recall, and we're desperately trying to get you out of there, and that pill will help you. But if you don't take it, then I don't know what he says. Like your brain is gonna explode.
You're lobotomized, basically.
Yeah, essentially, yeah. So that's cool. That's pretty cool. I think even though it was pretty straightforward and it got criticized for taking so little things off the book, I think the execution still was great and pretty in depth and got you thinking like, how easy is it to trifle with your mind?
Right. I've seen that movie probably 100 times in my life. You know, from when I was a little kid till now. Yeah. It's one of my top 5 Arnold movies. But I watch it now, and sometimes I'll watch it and then like try to dissect the scenes and be like, try to piece it together. Like, was he dreaming? Was it part of his trip to recall? Was it really? But then now it's like I just watch it and let's watch it for what it is. You know what I mean?
I know what you mean.
It's definitely one of Arnold's best movies.
Oh, 100%.
And yeah, man. Same thing with The Running Man. I love that movie. I've seen that one not quite as many times as I've seen Total Recall, but I love Running Man. That just the whole like, I think it really helped build Arnold's reputation as a reliable action star. Dropping the one-liners. The physical.
Yeah.
And he wasn't running around that movie with a gun blowing people apart like he was in Commando and Predator. You know what I mean? It was more like he had to rely on his hands and his ingenuity, to fight against like the gladiators and stuff and the hunters and stuff. So it's like it's good. It's for sure. It's definitely one of my favorite Arnold movies. What do you think about The Running Man?
Dude, I was on November. I got that new German edition, the VHS edition, where you have like this cardboard edition with a magnet lid. You hold it in place, and then the discs are stylized as 60mm rolls. And it's also the whole new VHS craze. And I got that movie already on Blu-ray with the soundtrack, but I wanted to have that VHS one. So everything old school Arnold is great. I love the movie. It's not my favorite movie of him. Like my favorite is always Terminator, but I always like to enjoy it. I like the score. I like the villain. I forgot the name. Do you have
Killian.
That's it. Total asshole. I hate that dude. It's such a dick face, man. It's not even normal.
Right.
So,
did you? Hold on, Wilco. Let me cut you off for just 1 second. Did you know that he was a game show host over here?
Like really?
Yeah.
Okay, though.
That's serious, dude. Family Feud.
Right. I saw that. And I always think like, where do I know that face?
Right. Richard Dawson is his name, and he was the host of Family Feud over here in America for it was in the 70s, in late 70s, early 80s, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, he was so that was kind of cool. Kind of keep that game show host vibe kind of going in the movie.
Yeah, I think that was natural for him. I think then when he
Oh
was
yeah,
approached, he was like, "Oh yeah, that's totally easy. I just
right.
should we start? Should we start now? Or should we schedule?"
Hello, cutie pie.
So yeah, he was great. I think the effects were cool. Like I also the first time I saw that movie, I was like baffled. I was like, "Whoa, that Dynamo dude!" Like I knew that already from the Wanderers. That's also great coming of age and gang movie. Like I love that, and he was like the leader of the Fulton Baldies, Terror. I don't know that relationship was always like Terror is up here, and then you had what was the girl like? What was her name? Tiny. Terror and Tiny was somewhere down there. So that was always funny, and to see him in there was pretty cool. And also Jesse Ventura, that was before he really got soft and everything. So
Yeah.
no, Running Man is great, and I also like same with Total Recall. I don't know, sci-fi slash cyborg slash dystopian future movies are kind of I don't know my thing, and I
Hmm.
think I think Total Recall and also Running Man and also Terminator all put a little bit different pinches of salt in here. Like you have your little bit of sea salt here, you have a little bit of that salt there, and it's all pretty cool. You can have pretty different opinions with all the movies and the things what to do. I enjoy it always, but I saw Total Recall mostly. That's also the movie where I listen to the score. Like
Hmm.
I'm a big soundtrack and score fan, and same with the MCU or Terminator, RoboCop, Total Recall. I enjoy to listen to the soundtrack. So yeah, it's a great movie. So I don't know whenever you sit in front of your shelf and you're thinking like, what movie to go to? Like you can never go wrong with Total Recall, essentially.
Right. Both of those movies, Total Recall and The Running Man, have fantastic scores.
Absolutely.
Um, 80s goodness, late 80s. Was Recall technically is a 90s movie, technically, but it's still got enough of that 80s vibe to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think what is it? When did it come out? Running Man?
The Running Man came out in, damn, I want to say 88, 87,
Yeah,
87, 88, something like that. I just
yeah,
watched it the other day. I don't even remember, but
yeah. And Total Recall was a bit
yeah,
before.
1990.
Yeah, year before Terminator. Yeah, okay. Yeah, technically 90s, but I mean, due to the score and the effects and everything, of course, it still has the 80s feel. So
Right, right.
I would say we give it to him.
Yeah, lump it in with the with the yeah.
So as for me, I saw a newer movie, like brand new. I watched Polar on Netflix. It's that movie adaptation of the neo noir comic Polar, coming from coming from the cold, I believe, is it? It's a Dark Horse web comic, and it's very John Wick like, but it seems even a little darker, like way darker.
Hmm.
Uh, we have like Mads Mikkelsen as Duncan Wisla, nicknamed the Black Kaiser, the greatest hitman slash assassin of all time, and he's working for this company. I forgot the name now. I got Ballista stuck in my head, but that's not Damocles. Company's Damocles, and they have like this insurance where they say, okay, each year you get an insurance over your amount of money, life insurance,
Hmm.
and if you happen to survive over the age of 50, you get everything you you paid in that insurance. If not, the whole money goes into Damocles. So what does the boss of Damocles do? Of course, he says his other assassin people, kill Duncan. I want the money. So yeah, and that's where Duncan says, "Not with me, my good friend. Not with me. Not on this day." And so a killing spree ensues, and it had mixed to negative reviews, but I enjoyed it. The score is by Deadmau5, and it's a cool movie. I really enjoyed it. I can only recommend it. Like Mads Mikkelsen is perfect as this stoic super assassin, Like I also that one scene, not really a spoiler, but just pretty much at the start of the movie, where he kills the whole gang that's supposed to kill him. Like he's on the little earplug of the team, and he tells that one girl, "Don't be afraid. If you're afraid, you make mistakes." And she's hiding behind the refrigerator, and she's totally panicking and breathes too hard. And through the infrared, he sees the breathe, and so he knows, okay, I go 30 centimeters to the right, like 12 inch to the right, and I shoot and I get her. And he got her. She falls down. He shoots again, and in fall, he also hits her with a headshot. Done. So
Nice.
that was a classic move, and there's cool stuff in it. It's pretty gory, so
Yeah.
I can only recommend it. I don't know, what did I watch before that?
I'll have to check that movie out, man. That sounds pretty good.
It's cool. It's really cool. Like it's really, if you like John Wick, you will love this. I think.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Cool. I'll have to check it out.
So yeah, that's it for me. I don't know what's next.
You didn't watch anything else recently?
I'm currently actually watching on Netflix Top Gear. It's uploaded from season 17 onwards, like the British one with Jeremy Clarkson, James Payne, Richard Hammond. But otherwise, I paddle back on a few things. I don't know, some comedies we know. I don't know, what did I had last? I don't know. But The Punisher, I watched season 2. That was great. But not really a movie. It's MCU, but I don't know. I think the connection was lost in the MCU. So
yeah, I don't know, man, about that part. Like they were like when they first announced the Marvel Netflix stuff, they were like, these are going to be part of the MCU. These are going to be tied into the movies. But the tie-ins have been very minimal. They were noticeable early on, like in Daredevil season 1, and like in Jessica Jones season 1. You could see like some of the, there'd be like newspaper clippings in the background and walls and stuff, or like, somebody would mention like, the event or whatever. They tried to tie it in when they could, but to me, I would have liked to seen those like street level heroes pop up on the big screen at some point. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like the first 2 seasons of Shield, those played directly into the movies. You saw actual clips of Captain America, Winter Soldier, like in the back where the helicarrier went down into the Triskelion. I miss those, and also when you have like Daredevil on the roof, why is there nowhere the Avengers Tower or in Avengers Infinity War? Why is there no mention of those guys? And I think Marvel said through the press or through the media something like, yeah, it would be too expensive to put those in, but I don't know. I mean, they have those under contract. I think it's kind of lazy.
Yeah, I agree with you there. Like you said, like with Daredevil being on a rooftop, why can't you see Avengers Tower in the background? I don't know how far it is from Hell's Kitchen to Manhattan or wherever. Where is Avengers Tower at? But I mean, obviously New York City, of course, but I don't, just little stuff, like you said, little stuff like that could go a long way.
Yeah, that's it. I think so too. I think they really dropped the ball on this, but maybe what they will do it later. But I think if they will do it, they will do it once the Disney Plus subscription service has been launched.
Right.
So I think before anything happens in the MCU, I don't know. Phase 5 or 6, I don't know. I think everything else will be cancelled on Netflix, like Punisher 2, and then it will reboot it or something like that to the Disney Plus, and then maybe. But I don't know. I think they could have done big time. They could have, have way more depth to everything. But I think that's a big ball dropped. I would say so, but nevertheless, yeah, that's what we watched. So I don't know, MCU. How did you get into the MCU, man?
Good question, dude. Growing up, I was reading the comics and stuff. I was a real big Iron Man fan. he wasn't like, in the 90s, the big thing with Marvel was Spider-Man and X-Men.
Mm-hmm.
That was like their two big cash cows. No one really gave a shit about the Avengers or the Fantastic Four or Iron Man or whatever, for example. But Celeste was hardcore Marvel, readers, loyal Marvel readers. They cared, of course. But there was the X-Men and Spider-Man animated series on Fox.
Yeah.
Fox Kids, and they played a big part of making Spider-Man and X-Men like a big part of the pop culture in general.
Yeah.
So I kind of came up in that era. I was born in '84, so right there around Spider-Man and X-Men, the mid '90s, that was my prime like TV watching time. You know what I mean? So it was always like a big deal for me when any kind of superhero movies were coming out. Because I just grew up, reading comics and stuff, all from all different DC, Marvel, whatever, Image, Dark Horse. But so of course, we had like the Blade movies, and we had the X-Men movies, and the Sam Raimi Spider-Man trilogy.
Gotcha.
So those were like Fantastic Four and stuff. A couple of them prior to Iron Man, but when Iron Man came out, of course, I was psyched. I was like, oh, Robert Downey Jr. is playing Tony Stark. What the fuck? Awesome.
That was pretty much a dream casting.
Right.
I think that fucking worked. For me, Iron Man. Sorry to cut you off there. I just want to chime in shortly.
Oh, no, you're good, man. Go ahead.
Iron Man hit me like nothing. I don't know. That came in. I saw a poster of that, and I was like, "What, Iron Man? Like the hero?"
Yeah.
Like, where does that come from? I didn't even see a trailer or anything. Like all of a sudden, there was Iron Man. Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man. Is that not like that addict, that drunkard? And now he's like that big hero. And I was watching that in the cinema, and I was like, holy shit, that's a big fucking great movie.
Right.
So that hit me. That really hit me. But go ahead.
No, man, you're fine, man. We might be stepping on each other's toes a lot here. It's okay though. No hard feelings. No, man. The Iron Man definitely did it for me. I was like, this is it, And then at the end, with Nick Fury.
Yeah.
And then of course, as a comic book geek, that like totally hooked me, and it was like, you got there's going to be Marvel movies, like abundant Marvel movies, and here we are. 10 years later?
Yeah, it's a little bit over 10 years. They had this big featurette, like the first 10 years. The first bumper in the movies is now updated to the first 10 years. So yeah, big fucking universe like in the movies, and I mean you gotta imagine like. But still, on the other side, first we have like Avengers: Infinity War. That's like spot number 4 on the all-time highest grossing movies worldwide, but with believe 2,043,000,000 and somewhat dollars. And this is still big, but it still comes up short as Star Wars: The Force Awakens with 2,064,000,000.
Mm-hmm.
And not to think about Avatar, which is still a number 1 with 3 billion and I don't know what kind of million. So it's so damn successful, and it did this in such a record time, but it still came up short of those 3 movies. Like, I don't know, what does that say about such a movie and the speed it got money in, but it still came up short of the top 3 movies.
Right.
Like, is the MCU way less popular than Star Wars or even James Cameron? I mean, James Cameron is not the guy that really, I don't know, introduced us to this big franchise. He did Terminator 1 and 2,
Mm-hmm.
but those were way before those times of really big box office successes. Like, I mean, of course, Terminator was still a big success, and for its time now, I think not accounted for with inflation. I think it's like, I don't know, 300 or 400 million.
Right.
So even even in this year now, it would have done pretty good.
Right.
But I don't know. I think it's just crazy, like how much those movies now actually bring in.
Yeah, it's something to really think about. Like every time another MCU movie or even like a big franchise movie comes out, I'm like, looking at the numbers, like it's crazy. So
Yeah,
many people all over the world.
yeah, that's it. And also when you think about like the like the effects, when you actually think about how the effects of the first Iron Man still hold up to this very day.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But the fun part for me is also when I want to branch out a little bit, like the effects. I think the effects nowadays look way different and worse than back in the day. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Because when you think about um, like Terminator or Jurassic Park, those effects kind of still kill few of the effects nowadays.
Hmm.
When you take the effects of the Jurassic Park T-Rex when it's coming through the fence and everything, and then side by side with Jurassic World and the Jurassic Park, there's always this: why does Jurassic World look worse than Park?
Mm,
And
well,
and the thing is, I can answer that question, but you go ahead first. I wanna hear.
yeah. See, talking Jurassic World and Jurassic Park, that's going to get me somewhere. um, man, you're talking strictly CGI, right?
Yeah,
Okay, because I don't know, it's something about maybe, especially with like, for example, like the T Rex. Um, maybe because the CGI was kind of in its infancy in the first Jurassic Park. You know what I mean?
no, no, that's not it. But go ahead.
I don't know. It's something to do with like the way that it looks nowadays. Like everything looks so like processed and filtered, and even though it's computer generated, you know what I mean? It's not. It doesn't have that grit and grain to it that looks more realistic. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean?
That's you got the word there. It was a filter. Like
Yeah.
I saw a documentation a few weeks after Jurassic World's release, where people were really complaining about the fact that the effects from '93 and now look way different, and
Hmm.
today's are way worse. And they actually saw that there is a filter over the movie of Jurassic World, like this brownish hue kind of filter thing to make it more
Hmm.
realistic. And they defiltered the picture, and all of a sudden, the picture and the T-Rex in it, the CGI, look way better and way more akin to the '93 Jurassic Park.
Hmm.
So it's overfiltered, kind of oversaturated, and
Right.
that's what makes the movie look fake. And I think the MCU is suffering a little bit from that too, because in Avengers: Infinity War, most of the effects are awesome, but in the end, like the actual battle, sometimes, like especially like the effects with Bruce and the Hulkbuster, and also War Machine, when Don Cheadle's head really looks out of the armor,
Hmm.
there were some instances where it really looks bad.
Right.
I think it really looked bad, and
Yeah, I agree with you on that.
so mostly it looked really good, like when the Outrider were coming through the shield and tearing themselves in half. I don't know, don't give a shit, just head on target and
Right. Right.
go through the shield, and it looked really convincing. It looked really good, and also with Thor and Nidavellir, how he made his hammer and everything, it looked on point. I don't know
Hmm.
what happened, but those particular scenes at the very end with Hulkbuster and with War Machine, like the bit with War Machine reminded me of the old Spawn movie.
Hmm.
There, the CGI was pretty much in its infancy, and when we saw War Machine, to get a comparison going, we saw War Machine and the head. Like the head seemed to move independently of the War Machine body. It was strangely wobbling around. I don't know. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah, you're
So,
right. You're right.
and in Spawn we had the same thing. Like when you think about the scene where he crashes through that window, the sealed
Hmm.
window, It looks good up
Mm-hmm.
until to that point where the mask retracts and the cape goes in, because then you see like the body of Al Simmons and the head, and the mask is kind of doing like this, like
Yeah.
really weird, and then it retracts, and then he stands perfectly.
Yeah.
And then a few minutes later, when you have this point blank shot of him when his mask folds over the head,
Mm-hmm.
that looks perfect.
Oh yeah, it does.
I don't know, that still holds up till today. I don't know what's happening there, but that's
Yeah.
crazy.
I don't know, man. Maybe it's something with like the movement or something. Like, I don't know. Trying to put my finger on it. Not really.
I think the mocap kind of was edgy.
Yeah. Yeah. Something with like for a Spawn, for example, when he's coming out through the ceiling window.
Yeah.
You know, the cape's all flowing around and everything, you know. Like maybe it's like, you know, but like when he's with the mask was like unfolding over his face, over his head, it was kind of like a straight on shot. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? Do you follow me?
I know what you mean, 100%. I think maybe and one way or the other. It was a straight on shot, and it was live action, and the mask pulling over the head was kind of better mocap with more dots to actually fix it to the face,
Or,
or the whole shot of him and the mask pulling over the head was full CGI.
right.
That could have been too. But I don't know. Nevertheless, I think nowadays, of course, the CGI pretty much is flawless. When we think about, since we were at James Cameron, I think in Avatar that really shows how good the CGI nowadays can be. Like when
Right.
people have like cameras adorned to their head, and then with the mocap dots, like you see the whole face is essentially covered in freckles,
Mm-hmm.
and uh, and they have a whole set, and the set is only, I don't know, looking like a fucking athletics hall, and nothing like an actual set, and there's green everywhere,
Yeah.
and all of the set is not even built anymore. Like when I think about like Star Wars, also like when they saw when they watched showed Star Wars features, where they showed a little bit behind the scenes, you have like barely the ground is kind of textured with steel and everything. They're blue and green, and once it all finished, you have like this lava volcano ridden battle between Anakin Skywalker and Obi-Wan,
Yeah.
and you think like, especially like me, I tend to think, okay, I'm already sitting in front of a PC and doing three-dimensional work. And that's so limited when I even think about it. Like when I want to try an animation and animate a pair of fingers, like back in the training for my job, I three-dimensionally engineered a Terminator arm.
Mm-hmm.
And in SolidWorks, the problem were limitations to the software. So you could move the arm, but as soon as you approach the hardware limitations, the arm was starting to move really edgy and became like of that claw. It really went strange. So when you took like only the tip of the finger and did it like this, that was still stable. But
Right.
everything else is, it fucked with the whole engineered piece.
Mm-hmm.
So when this already was this hard to do, I can only imagine how hard it must be to have a fully moving background of a volcano planet, and then there's people in the movie or Spawn with a mask or everything. So I don't know, my computer techniques nowadays are really crazy.
Yeah. It's funny you mentioned with the Star Wars, because I specifically remember with the prequels seeing behind the scenes shots and stuff. You'd see Ewan McGregor and Hayden Christensen in costume with their lightsabers, and then
Yeah.
nothing but blue and green walls behind them. So I specifically remember seeing those shots, so I know exactly what you're talking about when it comes to that.
So that's pretty crazy. That's really pretty crazy. I don't know what else. Also like the post production, like you will always have these green and blue screens. I don't know. They flash a little bit of the color onto the clothes, like the reflection and everything, to put those through filters, to have those deleted and have like realistic to have the lava reflect off the clothes. I don't know. It's just mind-boggling to me. Like the amount of work, and when you try, at least try to wrap your head around that, maybe you get kind of a grasp why the credits list is just, I don't know, sometimes 10 minutes long about all the people that are working on that.
Right.
There are people having only stations for that. Like the cubicle in there, there's only this guy working on deleting the dots on the face, and it puts the shit on a hard drive and gets it over to the next guy. And this dude is only like, I don't know, specially tasked to get rid of the reflections I just said. And then you see like in the credits just big block of people, like names, and all those people had all these little tasks. It's just crazy. Like to me, it really is crazy. I don't know. I'm
Right.
those are things I wrap my hand around sometimes.
Right.
But
You can ramble.
yeah, I can. It's our podcast, right?
Yep. No, dude, ramble on.
So I don't know. What's your opinion of Captain Marvel? Like I know that that some people say like, oh, Captain Marvel, I don't know, this looks like the most boring movie ever, and I don't know.
Honestly, I'm not a fan of the character. You know what I mean? Not so much looking forward to that one out of some of the other MCU movies. So, I don't know, man. What about you? What are you thinking?
I don't know either. I think the de-aging process we saw of Nick Fury, like in the trailer, looks pretty amazing. That's also another point. Also, Kurt Russell in Guardians of the Galaxy 2 was perfect. That looked not plastic at all. It looked really lifelike. And I think they will nail that point in Captain Marvel too. But I don't know. I have the hard and really bad feeling. Sorry, that it kind of looks a little bit like Green Lantern to me.
Right.
And that's not a good thing. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like I used to enjoy Green Lantern like for this teeny little tiny amount of time, and then it really turned south, like totally sour.
Right.
And now I look at footage at it and I think like, yeah, I understand Ryan Reynolds. It's a fucking shit show. Like essentially, also I need to go on about this just a short while. Like Parallax and Green Lantern. You know, are you familiar with the DC comics?
Oh yeah, Green Lantern is one of my favorite characters in DC.
So Parallax is originally like this super entity all out of pure light and roughly shaped like, I don't know, like a cicada slash cricket kind of alien thing, and it's the embodiment of fear.
Mm-hmm.
So can you tell me what Parallax looked like in the movie?
Not what it's supposed to look like.
Let's call it like it is. It looked like a floater. It looked like a fucking floater. It did it not?
That's a pretty good one.
It did look like a fucking floater. Like at first he was like encased in this, I don't know, Bernstein kind of stuff, and then he cracked free because he's got this amount of fear, and then he started moving, and all of a sudden he turned brown and kind of muddy, and I was sitting in the cinema and I was like, that's not Parallax, that is floating shit. And it looked worse later when he actually arrived on Earth. I mean, like Coast City was engulfed in shit.
Yeah, basically.
I mean, excuse me, that's not. I don't know. Like that was this totally epic storyline. Like when I really dug in deep into Sinestro Corps War.
Mm-hmm.
That was a fucking awesome story. Like with Sinestro getting that ring and getting his revenge, and the cyborg Superman returns and has his fucking Superman emblem with the Sinestro Corps.
Mm-hmm.
And the Kilowog lookalike, or Kilo way more monstrous and everything.
Yeah.
It was a great storyline, and then they had this movie, and in the end, Sinestro puts on the ring. Like there's no explanation where the rings come from. There's no explanation where it was hidden. Why Sinestro puts it on? It's just, oh yeah, right, fan service. What can we do? Oh, yellow ring, put it on. Like no sense to it.
All right. Honestly, that movie's fucking trash.
It is. Even the effects. Even the effects when he's like.
That suit, that Green Lantern suit was so fucking horrible.
I mean, the idea of those flows, those flow lines with the energy pulsing through it, that was okay. The idea was good. It was just executed poorly.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know what the problem was, because I think even the budget was pretty good. And
Yeah.
I think the idea was also cool, like what he did, like with the chainsaw and the Gatling and everything. And it looked kind of good, but shitty in the same vein. I don't know how it was possible to have it shitty and good in the same portion.
Right. I know what you're saying, and I agree with you.
It's like so weird. Like Sinestro, Mark Strong was perfect for the role.
Yeah, he was good.
And Kilowog looked good too. I think the planet of Oa was great. There was just so much potential and work really wasted.
Yeah, Kilowog was cool, you know, and they had him saying his lines and stuff, you know, Poozer and all that.
there was the exemplary fan service, to call it like that.
Right.
I don't know, man.
Honestly, man, sorry, go ahead.
No, it's okay, go ahead.
I like Ryan Reynolds. I like Ryan Reynolds a lot.
Yeah.
You know? But he's not a good Hal Jordan. You need somebody with a little more serious to be Hal Jordan.
Yeah.
You know, he kind of had that, like, I mean, Ryan Reynolds has always been funny. You know, he's done a couple of serious movies. But, you know, 95% of this dude's career has been funny. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And Hal Jordan, you just need to be a little more straight edged with him, you know, when you're playing Hal Jordan. You know what I mean? Like you said, some of the effects are or special effects are nice. Some of the stuff for the fans was nice, you know, like we talked about Kilowog and Sinestro and stuff. You know, Mark Strong was perfect as Sinestro.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
But like you said, the presentation, how they went about it, overall as a movie, it just was not very good at all. And Ryan Reynolds being the star, I think, was a big part. And I love Ryan Reynolds. I think he's an amazing actor, but he just don't play Green Lantern, dude. You know what I mean?
You know what Green Lantern he could play, but in this day and age now, he could play Guy
Gardner. Oh, dude, he'd be amazing as Guy Gardner.
That would be perfect. Like especially also like his hairstyle at the beginning of Deadpool, like slightly to the side, with the 3-day beard. That is like, that's Guy Gardner. That would be perfect.
Dude, he'd be perfect as Guy Gardner for sure.
Yeah, I think if DC Comics really goes ahead with Green Lantern Corps, they should take him. But for Hal Jordan, like you said, someone really a little bit more. Yeah, serious, like also fun, because you know in the comics Hal also likes to poke a joke and pull a sentence and some bullshit here and there, but I don't know, he's like more that leader type, but I don't know what actor could that be? It's like really hard.
Yeah.
Like when I think about like a dude from Shazam, Zachary Levi, I think that dude is pretty good. I think that he would be good, but he's already Captain Marvel. So, but I don't know. There are certain people I think as actors that are good leadership material, but they already had their chance in a role and they showed it sucked. Like especially George Clooney and like he's like totally serious in everything. But Joel Schumacher just took the movie and pulled the magnum out and held it to its head and said, "You're gonna be good." And the movie said, "All right. And if you're not good, I'm gonna blow your veins out." But before he could do anything, the audience did it for him, and so the movie was gone. So,
look, I'm gonna go ahead and tell you this: we're gonna limit the amount we bring up Batman and Robin on this podcast. Okay.
God, oh God. Like we could do several episodes about Batman. Like we could do the old movies. Like
Mhm.
we could do four. We could do Batman and Batman Returns, and we could
Mhm.
do Batman and Robin and Batman Forever. Then we take the Dark Knight trilogy, and then we take the new ones with Affleck because those are wrapped too.
Okay, we could do that.
So that would be.
Sounds good, man.
I think so. So otherwise, yeah, I don't know. What more is there to say about the MCU?
Man, I think it's just. What about like X-Men and Fantastic Four in the future?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
big one. Yeah, big one. With that deal being finalized, I think Fantastic Four should finally head home.
Yeah, definitely 100% agree. It's past time, honestly, because
Yeah.
Marvel's first family, but we ain't got shit so far.
we got shit so far, all right.
Basically, yeah. Well, yeah.
Like I mean, the last one had some interesting concepts. Like that's always what I say also about Terminator 3 and 4 and Genesis. They had interesting concepts in the movie, but the overall experience was like, let's be nice and call it lackluster.
Yeah.
You know, but I don't know, that youth kind of theme around Fantastic Four. The last one was okay,
Hmm.
but that Doom being stranded on that planet and being, I don't know, kind of interspliced with his suit and then holding a grudge and the looks, and that was like a total millennial Doom. Sorry to
Yeah, it
the
was.
generation, I don't give a shit. Like
Yeah, it was shit, man.
it didn't work. It didn't work at all. I also have to say, like the lead, like the Reed Richards in the
Hmm.
Fantastic Four movie looked. That dude was horrible. I think he's a really really bad lead.
Miles Teller, ain't that his name?
Yeah,
I think so. Yeah.
I think that's a really bad lead. So
Yeah.
I mean that's hard to say, but even the Rise of the Silver Surfer was way better.
Oh yeah. Those older movies, the ones by like with Jessica Alba and Chris Evans, they're not the greatest, but at least they're somewhat. You can be entertained for an hour and a half. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean the Silver Surfer looks alright.
Yeah.
I don't know, like isn't Jessica Alba like the worst miscasting in that
Yeah.
role?
Yeah. She's not that great as Sue Storm.
Like you see Sue Storm, he's like a total blonde, and then you see Jessica Alba, and you remember her from Dark Angel. And
Yeah.
she's like, what is she like? Like Puerto Rican in there?
I believe so. Yeah.
So she's like black haired and tan, and then you see her in the movie, she's still tan, but you see like this super starry, clean blue eyes and blonde hair, and you're like,
Yeah. Those eyes were weird, really bad, especially in the second. The second movie was really bad.
I think that had so much of Barbie and nothing of Sue Storm. I mean, of course she's a blonde, but she's not Barbie, you know.
Right. Right.
So I think that was a bad call, but I mean, pretty much, yeah. I mean, Chris Evans had his redemption.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
He's perfect as Captain America, and I don't know, man. I think Avengers Endgame should introduce us to way more. They could do so much more in that movie, but I think they would just close it out. But do you think what are your calls since we're back? What do you think about deaths in Avengers Endgame? Who is actually gonna die?
My prediction is Iron Man.
Okay.
At first, I was kind of going with the Captain America, but I don't know. Fuck, it might be both of them.
I think both contracts are up, right?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah. Iron Man for sure. Like I said, maybe Cap too. You know.
But who's gonna be the new Captain America then? Falcon or Bucky?
Mm,
with Sebastian Stan and that steel arm, I think that Alex Ross, Bucky, Captain America could look pretty cool in the MCU.
Yeah. I think it probably would be they probably go with Bucky because it seems like they've been building him up more as being a potential replacement for Steve.
Yeah.
Whereas like Falcon, they've been building him up as just being the Falcon, which is nothing wrong with that. But you know, him and Steve are buddies, but you know, it's different. A different friendship with him than with Bucky. So
yeah, I don't know, man. I think it could actually be Falcon because when you think about Civil War and also Ant-Man, when you see that new Falcon suit that he got, there were like all those stripy designs, like black, red, black. Those are actual parts that could actually work as a resprayed version, as red, white, red.
Yeah,
A little bit of blue in there. So I think that could actually work. I don't know, man. It's a tough call, I would say.
Honestly, from my perspective, either one I'd be good with. Honestly, you know, I wouldn't have a preference either way. My prediction wise, I think they'd go with Bucky, but hell, like I said, Falcon. Either way, I'm good.
Yeah, I think so too. I think I would be happy. I mean, Anthony Mackie had me pretty much since 8 Mile. Like I don't know, he was a total dick face in that movie, but
fuck the free world.
Fuck the free world, Papa Doc. he was really good. Like he pulled up this total asshole perfectly in the movie.
Right.
But I enjoyed to watch him do that. He was really competent in that role.
No, absolutely, 100%.
And to see him really get good, I don't know, support and also screen time in different movies. Like that one I still watch. I was thinking about what movie did I watch. There's this new one on Netflix too. It's called I.O.
I.O.
Yeah, it's with Anthony Mackie and I know the girl. I just don't know the name. And there's this also dystopian future. The atmosphere has turned toxic on Earth, and she's like the daughter of a scientist living in the mountains up high where the atmosphere is okay over the clouds. And Anthony Mackie comes up there and says to her, okay, there's this space shuttle leaving for this big colony near Saturn called Io, and they are pretty much the lone persons on Earth. The thing is, Anthony Mackie plays it good. The movie has a good outline, but it's boring as fuck.
The premise sounds pretty good.
Yeah, the premise sounds good, and that's about it.
It's boring as hell, man.
It really is. I had a hard time watching it. Like, you had no problem whatsoever to be on your smartphone the whole time. Instagram, Facebook. What does my Excel say? Okay, huh? Oh, okay, they're fucking. And then you go back to Facebook and Instagram. Oh, the movie is over. Yeah, okay. So
next.
Yeah, essentially. But even then, you don't lose. You lose. I don't know. There's no problem to get back into the movie. I don't recommend it. So Polar, yes. IO, no.
Okay. Well, I'll definitely try to check out that Polar here this week coming up.
It's great. It's fucking great.
I like Mads Mikkelsen. He's pretty good.
Yeah, man, he's a great fucking actor. But yeah, I would say MCU. I don't know. I think all we could say about MCU is something that would be checked into YouTube videos too. Also, right? Only the repeat of the repeat of the repeat of the repeat what is said about the MCU. So I don't know, man. Do you want to add something as a final word? Because I think that pretty much does it.
Here, maybe to keep us going for a little bit.
Yeah, go ahead.
One thing about Captain Marvel I am looking forward to is the Skrulls. Do you think any of our beloved characters are Skrulls in disguise?
Oh, yeah, that's a good one. Huh?
Because we know we know that promo pictures and stuff. You know, Skrulls are going to be in the movie.
Yeah, you're right about that. Right, I forgot
So,
that. That's a good call.
so are they going to go like a obviously like how much into like the Kree side are they going to go with Captain Marvel? Because I don't know about like the female version. My Captain Marvel isn't the female version. My Captain Marvel is the version from the 80s.
Yeah.
Marvel comic Avengers. Yeah. So I don't really know that much about like the blonde female version.
Me neither. Me neither. I haven't read the comic like at all.
Okay, well then, well shit, then we'll both learn something then.
Have Marvel versions.
But as far as the Skrulls go, man, I wouldn't be surprised if one of the main Avengers, has been a Skrull the whole fucking time.
I have to say,
infiltration.
I have to say, you will probably be disappointed, and there will be no mention of the Skrulls in Endgame whatsoever.
You don't think so?
No, and I got a pretty good fixed argument for that, because the one problem Marvel has in all its movies is like inflacious villains. Like they turn up, they're a big threat to the hero. The threat is solved in one movie, and we never see it again, with the sole exception of Loki.
All right.
So the Skrulls will be like this super world invading threat in Captain Marvel, and Marvel will try everything to squeeze Captain Marvel into the story. Like, why wasn't she there during Guardians of the Galaxy 2, and why did it happen in the 90s, and where was she, and why was she there, and now she turns up, and where are the Skrulls? Were there somewhere? And maybe they go a little bit of flashbacks in Captain Marvel to see like Skrulls were maybe even also in S.H.I.E.L.D. and maybe also in Hydra.
Right.
But otherwise in Avengers,
you don't think, well, maybe not the movie, but I mean a team member is what I'm saying. Like, you know, somebody on, it depends how deep they want to go with this Skrull shit. Because, I mean, you could go, you know, somebody's been a Skrull for fucking 5 years. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
How deep do they want to go, deep dive into with it? You know what I mean? So.
Yeah, I think maybe even though this is like essentially a no-brainer and easy to do, I could even actually see Marvel backing out on that of the whole ordeal to have someone being a Skrull invading, I don't know, S.H.I.E.L.D. or something for 5 years, because essentially they did it with Hydra and Winter Soldier to establish the whole thing, like, oh yeah, that wasn't S.H.I.E.L.D., that is Hydra the whole time. You were fucked altogether.
Right.
So
probably what they might do is just be like have them as I guess flashback antagonist or whatever in Captain Marvel, and maybe not go balls deep with them in the MCU, which I would like to see them do. That's probably why I'm fan theorizing like that. You know?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah, dude, I think they have a lot of possibilities, and they could rewrite the book a little bit, but I don't know. Retconning is, like they used to say, a two-bladed sword. You know, like Geoff Jones had a hard time with Green Lantern, like when they first did Twilight and the 0 Hour. Like, it was all hell Jordan, and was only corrupted by all the power of the Green Lantern rings, and you just went crazy due to the cyborg Superman wiping out Coast City during Reign of the Superman and everything. And then he said, hey, wait, there was this entity, and that possessed him, and that was Parallax. And then they paddled back on that, and they did like this rewriting of Twilight and 0 Hour, and showed like this little hints and bits and pieces in the armor that there was Parallax. And then they did Kyle Rayner as Parallax and gave him this tip ears like Spock and everything. But I don't know, it worked. But like I said, two-bladed sword. So if Marvel is retconning something, they have to do it like really delicate, you know?
Oh yeah, and they're not really known for delicacy, for being delicate.
You know, they tried to take the little boy in Iron Man 2 and make him like Peter Parker, but with the age and everything, it didn't work. So people really didn't eat it too hard. So
Right.
that was a problem. And then the timeline with, I think, Spider-Man 2 being 8 years from Avengers also kind of didn't work there. It was like a year more or less,
Hmm.
but they don't give a shit. They essentially say, this is 2013 and you're gonna eat it.
Right. Right. I don't know, man. Like I said, I'd like to see them do some stuff with the scrolls, but I don't know. It depends how it's handled for sure. You know, like you said,
Yeah.
dude. When you get a chance, man, read Secret Invasion, the Marvel Secret Invasion.
Mhm.
Read that graphic novel or storyline or whatever if you get a chance.
Yeah,
That that'll,
yeah.
that'll definitely make you like see how if you don't know how cool like it would be with scrolls somebody possibly being a scroll. You know.
Yeah, that's I know about the story, but I didn't read it, and
Yeah.
I need some new site to check out some comics. I tend to enjoy digital comics, but I just need my hardcover. And
Right. Right.
that's also why I was a little bit disappointed with my latest pickup. I picked up Absolute Flashpoint, and then I learned there are only the 5 core issues in Absolute Flashpoint, none of the tie-ins.
Uh, that's not that. That sucks.
That's not really the definition of absolute. Like,
Yeah. No.
I have Absolute Kingdom Come here, and it is
Hmm.
a big fucking book, and it has everything in it. But I mean, Flashpoint, it does a few features on concept art and on figures and also on the tie-ins. They try to explain a little bit here and there. But
Yeah.
when I say I do something absolute, I put in absolutely everything of that angle. So
Yeah. I agree, man. That's definitely that's bullshit.
so that's a big ball dropped, and I will actually send it back, return that. So that's a bit of a bummer, but yeah, if Marvel would do an absolute kind of stuff with this, I would actually go into a few things. I don't know, like the first Secret Wars when Spider-Man in the end got a symbiote. That was
Hmm.
something I would check out. Maybe if if DC would do Absolute Crisis on Infinite Earth or something, that would be something I would actually get. Absolute Death and Return of Superman, I would go into that. So that's something I would definitely check out. But on your topic, what I want to see, and I hope that it will be in Captain Marvel, is the Super Skrull.
That would be cool.
That needs to happen. I think that
Yeah.
needs to happen.
Yeah, that would be cool for sure, man.
Like, I don't know, and there could be the loop you were talking about, like that there was something, and there could be the retcon because you don't really check all those movies. That there was always somewhere in Avengers group meeting, there was always this person in the back, and he accumulated data and also the looks of the Avengers, uh, maybe also from back in time, like during World War II with Captain America and something, and so in the
Hmm.
90s they could actually do the Super Skrull with all the powers. Maybe. I don't know how feasible that theory is, but I think that could maybe something that could work.
Yeah, that's not too far out of the possibility. I don't think.
I
You know.
think that's not too far fetched, right?
Yeah. Nope. Oh, I agree for sure.
So so I think that could be something, but yeah, maybe I don't know. Maybe even also Spider-Man Far From Home. Like, why is the suit now red and black? Maybe an MCU symbiote. That would be cool too.
Yeah, that would be cool.
I don't see it actually, but it would be cool. Also Venom happening in there somewhere.
Well, knowing Tony Stark, he probably has some upgrades up his sleeve for the for Spidey suit that he hasn't even shown Peter yet. You know what I mean?
Yeah, although they established in the first Spider-Man that what was his name? Ned, like his friend,
Hmm.
that he hacked the whole suit and everything was unlocked.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, maybe there's this super special secret, I don't know, protocol in there house party no one knew about, and then I turned up about.
No, think about though too, like in Infinity War, he didn't know about the Iron Spider suit.
Oh yeah.
That's kind of what I mean, like as far as that goes, like
But he knows about the Iron Spider suit.
Yeah, yeah. But he didn't know what it could do, though. He just saw it, and he's like, "No, I'll wait. I'm not ready yet."
Yeah, that's also a line I enjoyed. Like, it smells like a new car in here.
Yeah, yeah.
That's also like there were so many good quotes in the MCU. Like I can't actually see ending the MCU anytime soon. Like there are so many good things, memories, and sympathetic heroes in there. Like the title in here, I'm always angry. Like how fucking epic was that scene? Like he casually strolls down that fucking flying dragon thing where everybody thought before the first Avengers that's Fing Fang Foom, and then he just turns into the Hulk and just he one punches it, like one hand. He doesn't even need both. He just takes one hand. That's
iconic scene.
That's like the most iconic. Like there are times where I power up my Blu-ray player, I take the Avengers disc, I put it in there, and I turn up the volume a little bit, only for that scene, also for the Hulk versus Thor scene.
Yeah.
That's also, paddling back to effects, I think the best effect I have ever seen is the part where Thor battles the Hulk, and he punches him with Mjolnir. He flies into the F-22, and then the Hulk gets up, and you see like this super close-up of the Hulk, where he get totally mad and angry, and you see like different shades of gray in the skin, and you see the face of Mark Ruffalo, and it works perfect. It looks super realistic. I think that's actually the best CGI shot I have ever seen. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, that's awesome. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. I don't know, for me, man, that's a tough one for me. I have to think about that one a little bit.
I have a problem to actually counting down stuff. Like when you ask me what are your 5 favorite music albums ever, or your favorite figures in your whole collection, I could dude, fuck that. Let's talk next week. I need to think about it.
All right. I don't know, man. Like I said, with the Marvel MCU movies, man, we could go on for hours talking about this shit. There's so much to look forward to. Honestly, I'm pretty stoked for Mysterio. He's one of my favorite Spider-Man villains, so I think it's going to be cool. A theory about that I was talking with one of my other buddies. He's like, "Oh, it's Spider-Man and Mysterio against Sandman, Hydro Man, and Molten Man, or whatever." I'm like, dude, I think you're wrong, man.
That's all Mysterio.
Yeah, exactly. Trying to make himself look good.
I think so too.
By teaming up and helping Spider-Man fight the villains, fight the monsters.
I think so too. I think that's a big plus twist they did give away in the trailer.
Yeah. We'll see, man. We'll see when the theatrical trailer comes out. I told my buddy that. I'm like, dude, that's just the teaser. Wait till the theatrical trailer comes out and we see a little bit more, then we can. But either way, it's a Mysterio. I'm excited. So
I think the trailer policy these days is also pretty crazy. Like the teasers are already sometimes 1.5 minutes.
Yeah.
They cram so many great scenes in there, and they are not even finished. And then you see the actual movie, and you think like, okay, that scene was in the trailer, but this, and this is all missing.
Right.
And then the trailers too, like 2 minutes or more. Like when I think Bumblebee, the trailer with Cybertron, like it's almost the whole Cybertron scene is the trailer.
All right.
Like you see all the Decepticons, all the Autobots, but let's not go into Transformers. Transformers movie series is coming, people. So
we're going to have to. Yeah, that's going to be a later show for sure.
Yeah, that's going to be a later show for now. But I don't know, man.
A lot of good stuff coming your way.
Yeah. Most definitely. So I don't know. I think we're. How long are we? We are roughly at 1 1/4. I think for a first episode and a test and an actual topic and some bullshitting, I think that was quite alright, or not?
Yep,
So
I think we did pretty good on that.
I don't know. I would say, do you want to tell everybody, our whole crowd of one viewer, which is essentially me, to check the chat? But for people that maybe watch later, where you at?
You can find me on Instagram at Tron Viper and on Facebook as David McCloud. In the groups, the Roma Collectors, and a lot of other groups, nerd groups. So,
Yeah, I think people can find you pretty easily, right? If they want
yeah,
to.
pretty sure. Yep.
As for me, Tim K on the Facebook, at Figure Photography Crate on Instagram, at Tim K's Nerd Crate on YouTube, and if the schedule permits, now every Thursday here on the YouTube.
That's right.
So maybe if you watch till next week, we hope you enjoyed because you weren't here live. That's your fault. So we hope you have a good night and a good week, and we see you next week. And for now, I would say, take care.
Adios.